Hello everyone, welcome to Living Maestro. I am your host Vedant Chavla and today we are going to learn a new chapter of science that is crop production and management grade 8. So without wasting any of our time, let's start with the session. Crop production and management. All living organisms require food. Plants can make their own food themselves. Animals, including humans, cannot make their own food. We get our food from both plants or animals. The energy that we get from the food is utilized for various body functions such as digestion, respiration, and excretion. Since we all need food, food has to be produced on a large scale. In order to provide food for a really large population, regular production, proper management, and distribution is important. Types of crops. When plants of the same kind are cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called a crop. For example, crop of wheat means that all plants grown in a field are that of wheat. Crops are of different types like cereals, vegetables and fruits. These can be classified on the basis of season in which they grow. India is a vast country. The climatic conditions like temperature, humidity, and rainfall vary from one region to another. Accordingly, there is a rich variety of crops grown in different parts of the country. There are two types of crops that are kharif crops and rabi crops. The crops that are sown in rainy season are called kharif crops. This rainy season in India is generally from June to September. Paddy, maize, soybean, groundnut, and cotton are some examples of kharif crops. The crops that are sown in winter season, that is October to March, are called rabi crops. Examples of rabi crops are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, and linseed. Besides these, pulses and vegetables are also grown during summer at many places. The crops that are grown in summer are known as that crops, which are also known as summer season crops. Some examples of Z crops are watermelon and cucumber. They the crops generally planted in June and harvested in October, that is rice, maize, cotton, and groundnuts, are some examples of kharif crops. And rabi crops are the plants that are generally planted in November and harvested in April. Wheat, barley, pea, and gram are some examples of rabi crops. Basic practices of crop production. Cultivation of crops involves several activities undertaken by farmers over a period of time. These activities are referred as agricultural practices. These activities are listed below. Preparation of soil, then is sowing of seeds, then comes adding manures and fertilizers, then comes irrigation, which means watering the crops, then comes protecting from weeds, then is harvestage, and then comes storage. Preparation of soil. The preparation of soil is the first step before growing a crop. One of the most important tasks in agriculture is to turn and loosen the soil. This allows the roots to penetrate deep into the soil. The loose soil allows the roots to breathe easily even when they go deep inside the soil. The loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes present in the soil. These organisms are friends of farmers since they further turn and loosen the soil and and also add humus to it. Since only a few centimeters of top layer of soil supports plant growth, turning and loosening of soil brings the nutrient-rich soil to the top so that plants can use these nutrients. Thus, the turning and loosening of soil is very important for the cultivation of crops. The crops loosening and turning of soil is called tilling or plowing. This is done by using a plow. Plows are made up of wood or iron. Some other tools used are hoe and cultivator. Sowing. Sowing is an important part of crop production. Before sowing, good quality and clean healthy seeds of good variety are selected. Farmers prefer to use seeds which give high yield. Soaking the seeds in water is a good method to separate healthy seeds from damaged ones because the damaged seeds become hollow and light, therefore they float on the water. Tools used for sowing the seeds. The traditional tool. The tool used traditionally for sowing is shaped like a funnel. Seeds are filled in the funnel, passed down through two or three pipes having sharp ends. These ends pierce into the soil and plant seeds there. Seed drill. Nowadays, the seed drill is used for sowing the seeds with the help of tractors. This sows the seeds uniformly at equal distance and depth. It ensures that the seeds get covered by soil after sowing. This protects seeds from being eaten up by birds. Sowing by seed drill saves time and labor. Appropriate distance between the seeds is necessary to avoid overcrowding of plants. This allows plants to get sufficient sunlight, nutrients, and water from the soil. At times, a few plants may have to be removed to prevent overcrowding. Because if the seeds are not placed at a proper distance, if then there may be overcrowding and there may be competition for sunlight, water, and other important nutrients. Which and if the seeds are not at a proper distance, then the crop will not give a high yield. Adding manure and fertilizers, the substance which is added to soil the form of nutrients for the healthy growth of plants are called manure and fertilizers. Soil supplies mineral nutrients to the crop plants. These nutrients are essential for the growth of plants. In certain areas, farmers grow crop after crop in the same field. The field is never left uncultivated. Continuous cultivation of crops makes the soil poor in nutrients. Therefore, farmers have to add manure to the fields to replenish the soil with nutrients. This process is called manuring. Improper or insufficient manuring results in weak plants. Manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plant or animal waste. Farmers dump plant and animal waste in pits in open places to allow it to decompose. The decomposition is caused by some microorganisms. The decomposed matter is used as organic manure, whereas fertilizers are some chemicals which are prepared in laboratories. These are rich in a particular nutrient. Some examples of fertilizers are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, and potash. The use of fertilizers has helped farmers to get a better yield of crops such as wheat, paddy, and maize. The fertilizers have health hazards, but still these are used in some places because of the high yield of crops. Now let's see the difference between fertilizer and manure. The fertilizer is a man-made inorganic salt, whereas a manure is a natural substance that is obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung and plant residues. Fertilizer is prepared in factories, whereas manure can be prepared in fields. Fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil. Manure manure provides a lot of humus to the soil. Fertilizers are rich in particular nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, whereas manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients. Now let's see the advantages of manure. The organic manure is considered better than fertilizers because of the following reasons. Enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. It makes the soil porous, due to which the exchange of gases becomes easy. Increases the number of friendly microbes, and it also improves the texture of the soil. Now let's see what is irrigation. Water is important for for the proper growth of for the proper growth and development of all living beings. Water is absorbed by plant roots. Along with water, minerals and fertilizers are also absorbed. Plants contain nearly 90% of water. Water is essential because germination of seeds does not take place without water. Nutrients dissolved in water are transported to each part of the plant. To maintain the moisture of the soil, fields have to be watered regularly. The supply of water to the crops at regular intervals is called irrigation. The time and frequency varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. In summer, the frequency of watering is higher. Sources of irrigation. The sources of water irrigation are wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, and canals. Traditional methods of irrigation. The Helke, chain pump, Moth, that is pulley system, Rahat, that is lever system. Pumps are commonly used for lifting water. Diesel, biogas, electricity, and solar energy is used to run these pumps. Modern methods of irrigation. Here are two modern methods of irrigation that are adopted by farmers. The first is sprinkler system and the second is drip system. Let's learn both of these systems in detail. The sprinkler system is more useful on the uneven land where sufficient water is not available. The perpendicular tubes have rotating nozzles on top and are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. When water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure, with the help of a pump, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. It gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. Sprinkler is very useful for lawns, coffee plantation, and several other crops. The drip system. In this system, the water falls drop by drop directly near the roots. So it called drip system. It is the best technique for watering fruits, plants, gardens, and trees. Water is not wasted at all. It is a boon in the regions where availability of water is. Here are images of sprinkler system where you can see that the rotating nozzles are sprinkling water, whereas in drip system the water falls drop by drop near the root. Now let's learn what is production from weeds or weeding. In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along the crop. These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of weeds is called weeding. Weeding is necessary since weeds complete, uh, compete with crop for water, nutrients, space, and light. Thus, they affect the growth of the crop. Some weeds interfere even in harvesting and may be poisonous for animals and human beings. Farmers adopt many ways to remove weeds and control their growth. The best time for the removal of weeds is before the produce of plants and seeds. The manual removal includes physical removal of weeds by uprooting or by cutting them close to the ground from time to time. Weeds are also controlled by by the use of certain chemicals called weedicides. These are sprayed in the fields to kill the weeds. They do not damage the crops. Spraying the weedicides may affect health of farmers, so they use these chemicals carefully. They cover their nose and mouths with a piece of cloth during spraying these chemicals. Now let's learn harvesting. Harvesting of crop is an important task. The cutting of crop is it is mature is called harvesting. In harvesting, the crops are pulled out or cut close to the ground. It usually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crop to mature. Harvesting in our country is either done manually by sickle or by machine called harvester. In harvested crop, the grain seeds need to be separated from the chaff. It is called threshing. This carried with the help of machine called combine, which is in fact a harvester as well as a thresher. Farmers with a small holding of land do the separation of grain and chaff by winnowing. Storage. Storage of produce is an important task. If harvested grains are to be kept for a longer time, they should be safe from moisture, insects, rats, and microorganisms. Harvested grains have more moisture. If freshly harvested grains are stored without drying, they may get spoiled or attacked by microorganisms. Hence, before storing them, the grains are properly dried in the sun to reduce the moisture in them. This prevents the attack from insects, bacteria, and fungi. Farmers store grains in jute bags or metallic bins. Large-scale storage is done in granaries to protect them from rats and insects. Dried neem leaves are used for storing good grains at home. For storing large quantities of grains in big godowns, specific chemicals are required to protect them from pests or microorganisms. Very thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share it with your family and friends. To stay safe from COVID-19. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye and thanks for watching the video. Thank you.